against my enemies, yeah. You see, you wanted to save you, and then learn how to raise you. But I forget you're from the
Hello there, everyone. What is up? I am Rob.
I am Eamon.
It is Mini Fuzz. How are you doing, Eamon?
Very well. How are you?
Good. Very good, actually. Good.
Can't complain.
Can't complain. Everything is going well at the minute. Yeah, in good form. Probably idling at an 8 out of 10, which is quite a strong score.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been at the lofty heights of an 8 out of 10. Yeah, no, I'd say in around. The weather's coming out now. Bit of a bad, batch of weather. The last few
Easter's
days,
been a mixed bag.
Yeah, but we did get a lot of chocolate. Did you get many eggs?
So yeah, disappointing show now from the family, I will say. The sister got me a chocolate rabbit, which was appreciated. Didn't expect it from her. Lint.
Oh well, that's ace.
My ma got me nothing. Bitch.
Did you get her an egg?
No.
Well,
but sure, look.
You get to an age, it's reciprocal.
I got one egg off Kira. Be honest with you, I didn't say nothing, but
that's bullshit, is it?
It was a honeycomb egg. And I don't like honeycomb, which felt a little bit like I was a bit like...
No, if you've never had the honeycomb conversation...
No, we have. Do
you think that this is the subconscious
do you not know
part
that
of her?
I must let my opinion be known on most things fairly quickly. I don't like honeycomb. What the fuck is that shit? If you don't know me by now, you will never. Yeah, no, the honeycomb. I mean, look,
the crunchy egg. What?
No, it was Lily O'Brien's honeycomb.
Well, look, that's a high caliber honeycomb egg at least.
Did I eat it all? Of course. You know how to play this.
Just
but it'd be rude not to. I bought her 2 eggs though. That's how I roll. Got her a nice fancy one, but then I also got an old dirty one.
Yeah.
Dirty Tesco's milk chocolate and pretzel Easter egg.
I'd say that's nice.
Fucking good shit.
Yeah, that is.
Tell you what, it's better than fucking honeycomb anyway.
Well,
honeycomb I don't like. It's not for me. You probably like honeycomb, do you? Yeah. You have that head.
Crunchy was my favorite.
Yeah,
it's a ginger. It's a ginger sweet.
Yeah,
a rustic ginger. Stealing honey from the bees, kind of a sweet.
I think what it boils down to for me in honeycomb is chocolate is better than honeycomb, and there's too much honeycomb all up in my chocolate when I buy a crunchy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
I don't care for the
understand
honeycomb.
it.
I want the chocolate.
I can respect and appreciate it. I like honeycomb.
Like if a crunchy, if the honeycomb was like pencil diameter through a Whisper sized chocolate bar, shall we say, might like that. Might actually like that. Might actually enjoy that.
A layer of honeycomb, kind of like the Mars bar caramel.
Less is more with honeycomb, I feel.
Yeah, I'm not against it.
Like,
I think there could be an argument to be made there.
What Easter eggs did you get anyway? Cheeky head.
I got Brazilian customized Easter eggs. I got Easter eggs.
SNES games inside.
SNES games inside, yeah. This is the new Mario world.
What was it? What's a Brazilian Easter egg? I'm curious.
So it's 2 halves of an Easter egg.
Yes.
And it's filled. So one had a passion. Oh. Yeah, so it's like an Easter egg, but inside it's half of it is filled with passion fruit with chocolate over the top. Like passion fruit, kind of a saucy, zesty sauce. No, there was lots of things. Cookie dough was in the other one.
Oh, yeah.
So I got those, and then I got 6 mini versions of those. So there was pistachio. So it's a small egg, half an egg, and it has like a pistachio paste with some sprinkled
like Dubai chocolate, kind of.
Yeah, kind of like
Dubai
that.
chocolate.
I haven't had it, but I've heard
sensation.
people talking about it.
It's good.
€17 a bar, is that true?
It depends where you get it. You can get black market Dubai chocolate.
Is this like that prime bullshit?
Pistachio slaw.
I can't say it.
A silage, a pistachio silage in the inside of the bar.
Well, I tell you one thing. I don't know if they should use that in the advertising.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, I do like pistachio.
You'd like an old Dubai chocolate, I think.
I wouldn't like the price of it by the sound of things.
It's TikTok wank, where it's like you're programmed to like something for like a month and then they market some other crap at you.
I saw them in the shops.
Though. It's tasty.
I'm sure it is. It'd fucking want to
buy a bar.
For €17.
No, it's not €17.
How much is it for a regular bar?
You can get a bar for like £6. It's worth a treat.
How big is about the size of Crunchy, like?
No, it's bigger, but it's very decadent because you have to remember now a pistachio slaw is very calorie dense.
Listen, I know that princes live in Dubai, but I am not of their lineage.
It's good. It's worth trying. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, look,
I'll buy a bar. Look, I'll buy a bar for us next week. We'll try it on the podcast.
I'll see if I can remortgage the house and I'll try get.
I'll buy a bar for us next week and we'll try it on next week's mini Fuzz, right? Okay. Have a Dubai live on air.
Yeah, the prince has spoken. Dubai chocolate.
Yeah, but other than that, Easter was okay. Of course, we lost the Pope, which was sad.
Yeah, he was a good Pope. He was very he felt like a very good Pope to bring more people to Catholicism because he was very open. He had a nice little speech. I heard him say a man was saying that he was gay and he felt ostracized by the church, and Pope Francis had a very nice thing where he talked about how the individual is like, we have noun and verb, and he said all this stuff, but he basically said he couldn't totally be like, listen, God doesn't care about that. But he went as far as he could.
Stand your base.
Stand your base. But yeah, he said a very nice thing, and I think moved the man to tears. So you'd hope that you're not going to get a more hardlined Pope, in that everything nowadays is just hardlined. I heard JD Vance visited the fucking Pope, and he was disagreeing with the Pope about Catholicism. It was like, that probably just took the last of the poor man's spirit.
Do you think... I think this is happening. I think this is strongly happening. Do you think that Ireland is getting more Catholic again in response to the rise of immigration coming into the country? Yeah. I fucking like, I think this Easter I've never seen. Now, it brought me back to the 90s, like when I was a kid growing up. And even the 90s, a lot of people would say, Jesus, well, the 80s and 70s and 60s were a lot worse. But it felt very Catholic in Ireland this Easter.
As long as we can not get into the fucking...
But I think people are grabbing Catholicism again as a national identity.
I think there's part of that. People have no footing now. People don't know what to believe in anymore. And I don't mean that in a religious sense. I mean, they can't get houses. The people who can't get houses are probably seeing the mass immigration and they're getting really tilted by that. There's a lot of the stuff then where you would see maybe the liberal side, for people who are centrist, pushing too hard, which then pushes them in the opposite way to go back to, because they're a lot of the people going to Catholicism, it's the fire and brimstone Old Testament shit. It's the Torah. Like, it's
for a lot of Irish people, like, Catholicism is Irish. Like,
oh yeah, look,
like,
it's
your national identity.
Yeah, like, it's totally linked in with us. But again, what's the reason? If Catholicism is just, it's the most prevalent religion, so you turn to that for a connection to something that is higher than you. I totally get that. I suspect a lot of people are going to it because they don't like trans people, or they don't like the amount of stuff. I'm sure that's
right. J.K. Rowling had her thing up with smoking a fag, laughing her arse off.
Because, see, again, like, if you take that aspect of it, I can get what J.K. Rowling's saying about women and women's spaces and like trying to protect those. I don't care. I'm a man. I'm not in women's spaces, so it doesn't bother me. But it's, well, I try not to be. I pretend to have, I am not a man, and I go in for a piss in the women's or whatever. But no, but like, I understand that part of it, in that, like, look, how do women feel about trans people being in their sport? There's conversations to have about that. But then again, like people going to Catholicism, she goes to a really hardline side, and I'm sure it's in retaliation to some of the hardline left people who've attacked her, but it's still, you're not going to settle anything like that. Like, you have to open your hand and try to bring people closer. My fear is that with people getting more into Catholicism and all the rest of it, like, they're going to take the hardline approach, which is, I don't like gay people, I don't like this, and it's just such an unreasonable, stupid approach to take. Whereas realistically, if all the people who are out on the fringes of the left and all the people who are out on the fringes of the right could shut the fuck up, I'd recognise there's very little difference between us. Just be sound to people, but and it'll be grand.
But like, even like when you look at like how much we're getting bummed by everything else, like how much of a big issue really is all the trans stuff that like sensationalist motherfuckers.
There's a conspiracy theory, right, that says that after the massive failure of the banks, which led to a global recession and austerity basically came to every country in the world, they started the banks started putting out they started putting out the rainbow flags.
Yeah, the Jews.
And they were like, never mind us, and they created a little fucking stupid binary war.
LGBTQ.
LGBT Jew plus or whatever.
Yeah, listen, I don't care what you want to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's it.
Want to go around with a minge? Go around with a minge. If you want to have a Mickey, have a Mickey. If you want to have both, do it. If you want to have a minge and a Mickey on your palms of your hands and you go around like a superhero, optic blast. Do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't care.
I think you have to have
I actually don't care about anything.
No.
I'm more anarchist though. I'm like, do whatever the fuck. Stop annoying me. Leave me alone.
Johnny Rotten.
I don't want to hear that. Fucking slag. Yeah, no, just look. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
stop talking about all this stuff.
Yeah.
JK Rowling, stop annoying me. Twitter get deleted. Fuck off.
X.
Here we go.
What are we doing?
We haven't even done our intro.
Jesus Christ.
Check us out on Patreon. Support
After
us. You can pay early if you like. Check out our social media. Also, if they have cryptid encounters or maybe a man has followed them into the bathroom, where should they write in about that?
Monster Fuzz Podcast at gmail.com. It is funny the other way around. Like, but to be fair,
Mr.
also
Sinister.
Mr. Sinister. But you know what the other thing is? Also, let's think of it from the other point of view. If you are full trans, right? You're transed out.
Full trans, yeah.
You go into the male bathroom. Now you're in danger. Like that's also true.
Yeah,
it's not like just all the fucking female kids are in danger. So like, I don't know, man. Yeah, all this stuff. Can we not just let him into the? Well, you can't accuse him of being handicapped. That would not go down well. But like, can we just make a different? Like, I don't know what we should do. Everyone fucking be sound to each other. Understand. Like,
if I was trans, I'd have one of them sheepies. You know them.
What's a sheepy?
It's one of them sheepy things you pee in.
Is that when you piss and it funnels it back into your arse and your liver processes it again?
That's something else. That's the human centipede.
Man, if I was trans,
sheepy is like
my tits.
Well, if I had a minge, like you'd use the sheepy. That was one of them things that it's like a bit of plumbing that you attach to your minge and it fires the way out like a willy.
Oh, like a funnel?
Sheepy or something it's called. I got one of them. And you know what,
actually, here's an interesting question.
I'd be in the pub just peeing on someone's leg.
But if you zip down your trow, you have your sheepy, just a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Can you just... No, I know you're not meant to urinate on the streets, but sure, no one cares when
yeah, that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, just into the manhole. It's going in there anyway.
Yeah.
You know? I am an anarchist. Just pissing on the main street. That's class. I would do that. I would do that with a real cock.
That should be
I'll put my sheepy over my real cock and then just piss on the street.
That should be the protest that all trans people do, is just put on sheepies and walk up pissing all over everything.
Yeah. And like wearing like sheepies that are sort of attached to trousers. So you basically just have like now it'd be a bit jarring in winter, just the cold fucking, you know. But I mean, look.
I don't know if they're called sheepies or something like
modern that. Modern problems require modern solutions.
So one of our lovely patrons, Rachel, writes in and she says, she's American by the way, watch out. My chooks lay delicious, nutritious bum nuts. Unless eggs make you feel unwell, in that case, sorry. If you're all worried about is making your fart stink, is about to make your fart stink, then sounds like you're being a princess.
What?
Well, Rachel, you spend the night in a room with me.
My chooks,
that'll be the least.
My
chickens, yeah.
My chicks lay delicious, nutritious.
Her chickens are laying eggs.
Her chickens lay.
Yeah.
I understand the words, but not when they put them in this order.
No, it's
very interesting.
She's talking about us on eggs. Like, she says, nutritional content of eggs literally start life.
Yeah.
Shits all over processed protein bars unless you're making your own with egg. Listen here, Rachel.
She's right, man.
I'd make a fucking pro.
I was now 13 grams though, wasn't it?
Yeah, no,
and that's only with 100 grams of egg. 13%
eggs,
of egg.
By the way, come back to me with
the science is in, Rochelle. No, I'm joking.
Come back to me with your good cholesterol.
Well, it could
cholesterol,
be,
your blood is like fucking
your
jam.
Good cholesterol, as long as they're in tandem, your LDL and your HDL.
Eggs are not good. Listen.
Big pharma,
Big
once
egg.
Again. Ooh, statins party. Let's have a statins party.
Rachel sells. She has an egg business in America.
Rachel will egg your house.
She upcharges on eggs, so she has the egg farm.
Well, there's such a high margin on eggs right now in America. You know.
She says it's a no on the Drew Barrymore podcast. Not into that.
She's absolutely right. What was the Drew Barrymore?
We're going to watch it. and commented about it. So she's
no,
wrong.
that'd be class.
Yeah, she's
that'd
wrong.
be very funny.
Topic suggestion, Eamon. Here you go. All ears. If you haven't covered it already and you're still interested in the above, after the above insult, the little brown hairy men of Australia, the Jun Judy. Maybe she's from Australia. A friend told me about these recently.
Jun Judy.
So there you go. Look into
Are you following me? Jun Judy. Yeah, I've never heard of the Jun Judy. Is he like the other fella, the Yowie?
Potentially. So we have a write-in from a long-time listener, Mr. Sean Carey, and he says, Eamon, if you want to read it.
Hi guys.
Oh, no.
Long-time listener of the podcast and a big cryptid fan from Longford. Longford in
Lots
Ireland.
of cryptids up in Longford.
That's like, to me, the sister county of Roscommon.
It is.
For sure.
Well, it's close to it, I think.
Speaking of counties that hate gay people, Roscommon, the only county in Ireland that didn't vote in gay marriage.
Was it?
It was 51%, not in my town, I believe. But we got it through in the end. The first country in the world to legalise gay marriage, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty cool thing for Ireland. And the first country that's going to legalise she-mickeys, what was it called?
Sheepies.
Sheepies.
That's what they're called.
If we start making those, we could probably make some good coin.
A lot of women aren't aware of them, I don't think, yet, which, you know,
women, when you see us men standing up, pissing freely in any direction, we're like, are you not filled with a jealous rage?
Oh, they are. And they can do that if they have a sheepy.
We could do different models. You could have silicone cocks.
Accessories, you know, you make a leopard print one, you know.
I've got a pierced sheepy. Prince Albert
I've
sheepy.
with a fidget spinner on the end of it.
You can't call it Prince Albert anymore because the connotation is a nonce.
You'd have a fidget spinner on the end of it. You could do one with like neon lights.
That would be fun. Neon lights, yeah.
You could do one that has an MP3 player.
You could do one that's on the horn so it pisses up.
Like you could have one when you zip down the thing or no go flow starts playing. Boom, boom, boom.
Sail away, sail away, sail away. Hi-hee-hoo-hi-hee. Yeah, that would be fun.
Using my sheepy.
Sheepy.
Maybe a sheepy. Maybe MP3.
Like, MP3. Do you remember the old bus when you'd open the cargo doors and be like, stand back, bus.
Stand clear, luggage doors
operating. You know, you'd have something like stand clear, sheepy operating.
That'd be cool. You'd have one that makes the pee going like mad patterns.
Or bring what about one sprinkler that pisses out bubbles like a children's toy?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh man,
we're in the future.
I tell you one thing: ammonia never felt so good.
Sheepy works both ways because it's kind of gender neutral. Because if you're a male to female and you still have a willy, throw a sheepy over your willy, sure, and they'll think you're a female. If you're a female to male, sure. Use your sheepy. All works.
And it can be used as a defensive weapon as well because it's made in your pants. Stand back! I'm not afraid to use this.
You can have like a heating coil on the end of it that'll heat the piss up to volcanic temperatures and use it as self-defense.
Oh, so it will actually volcanic temperature.
Yeah, piss. Like so when you're pissing, it passes through like a cigarette heater. Like an element.
The science is sound.
And
and you could kill.
Like
that'd be pretty sheepy. Cool. No, not sheepy again. I thought I hated trans before. Now I really hate trans. But the sheepy, I think, it'd solve a lot of problems in the world.
I think we're onto something there. We're going to Dragon's Den.
There's an Israeli guy. He's about to bomb, and he just sees this trans Palestinian using the sheepy, and he'd be like, "Oh, they're just like me." That would be pretty good.
Yeah, we could do that.
Anyway. Really enjoy the podcast, or at least I used to before you went on a wild rant about Longford. No, I do like Longford. A friend of mine was from Longford. His name was John. I haven't talked to him in about 25 years, but he was a good lad. Really enjoyed him Long John. Long John Sliver. It inspired me to write my own story about cryptids set in the Appalachian Mountains. It's an area with a culture, history, and folklore I really love. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear you read it out, but no worries if it's not for you. Thanks again, Sean Carey. Sean, this is indeed for us.
Good news, Sean. We don't proofread these emails, so it mightn't be for us.
I read a paragraph or two of this earlier. I thought it was quite good, so I'm I'm optimistic for how well Sean's writing.
He could do 4 paragraphs about Bigfoot, and the last 4 paragraphs could be like Gary Glitter defense case, and I'd be none the wiser. I would just read it out in there.
Anyway, next week we'll be talking about.
So, do you know what I mean? So, like,
true,
we don't proofread these.
I read the last couple of paragraphs, so. Maybe in the middle it goes into Gary Glitter defense case, but certainly at this point
they don't seem to care about what to say. So there you go.
Okay.
Go for it, Sheepy.
Okay, here we go. I want to get
this. Oh yeah. Okay, so
give me a sip. Oh, we're still talking
for
Sheepy.
For our delinquent listeners, this is a proper short story, and we're going to read it properly.
We're going to try, yeah.
And then once this short story is over, we'll talk about crap again. So, but first we're reading the story.
Yeah, we're reading the story now, guys.
Pretend we're at a library and it's a book reading.
And don't be getting giddy with your friends in the background.
And don't be messing about. Don't be messing
Don't be acting the maggot like that.
Don't be doing sheepy
retrogrades.
Fucking messing anything.
That Palestinian kid's just like me with
Go on
sheepy.
now.
Right.
There you are now.
Just
Go on now, read the story.
No, I'm getting into the mood. Don't be haranguing me. Stuart left the small wooden cabin and flung the door shut behind him. Cigarette in his mouth, he swayed towards the small outhouse that stood between the cabin and the edge of the forest. From behind him, the orange glow of indoors spilled out from the window and every little crack in the wooden walls. A light rain drizzled, but it was clear enough that the pale light of the moon shone through. Guided by it, he trudged slowly towards it. Rob just dropped an incognito fart between the paragraphs. Wow. His cabin was the last one in the town before the great expanse of forest that led out of the south side of the valley, and the outhouse was the very last stop. He's done it again. The newly built Greenhill town had sprung up in a matter of weeks. Since the Greenhill Mining Company had secured the mineral rights to the land before the turn of the year, hands had been greased and farmers finagled, and all going according to plan. It would be fully operational by the time the summer began in earnest. Very good. The town was nestled in between a ridge and the mountain they intended on mining. To the north lay the only safe passage out of here. A good day's ride over still rocky and rough terrain to the train station and the sad excuse of a town that had grown around it. To the south lay only wilderness, thick Appalachian forest that wrapped around this little valley like an impenetrable wall of green. No, good that time. Yeah, good man. Careful now. Water dripped in from the ceiling of the outhouse and onto his hat as gusts of wind blew in at him from all sides of the leaky shack. Each splatter on his neck reminded him of how much he hated this place. Rain had been constant here these past 2 weeks. It had turned much of the land to mud and was making the moving of any heavy material a slow and arduous process. Not good.
I'm in the story, man.
Even in the new cabins, water trickled in through the roofs and settled as damp in the corners. Many had been standing for only a few months and had already mould and wood rot had set in. Some of them, especially the earliest build, might even need to be torn down before the miners arrived in a few weeks.
Sounds like my garden's head now. It's in a bad way.
It's falling apart. Mine
bad
too.
way.
Found plants growing inside it.
Same.
The other day. Yeah, bastards.
Life finds a way.
The place didn't want them here. Some of the men reckoned. Many of them were locals, in that they had grown up in one part or another of these woods. Sons and grandsons of the men who had settled these valleys. The wild and crazy pioneers who had taken the boat from Ireland, England and Scotland and carved out their own little corner of this great land. The fact that there had been people here before them was somewhat irrelevant to them. But just like those who had been before, they too now found themselves run off their land, not by pioneers or invaders, but by businessmen. Men of finance and industry who had rolled through this valley, collecting estates like the warriors of old collected scalps. Instead of muskets and rifles, they were armed with contracts and lawyers, bribed judges and crooked cops. Paying the property taxes of those men who had not done so meaning the land turned over to them if they were not paid back by the end of the year. Others signed deals they could not read and found themselves thrown out of their homes, believing they had only signed away a portion of it. Many of those Stuart had under his supervision had suffered a similar fate in some way. The dispossessed found the idea of living away from their land so unimaginable, they took any form of work to be able to remain, even if that meant slowly destroying the land they loved so much. Stuart finished his business and stepped out into the downpour. Cigarette in hand, he pulled another drag from it and looked around at the darkness that surrounded him. It was enormous, unending, and frankly terrifying for a man who had grown up in the city of Chicago. 200 or so miners were set to trickle in over the coming months. They would tackle the train as far as Colville, and another short ride to here. Each would get one of the cabins Stuart had been sent here to build. Soon after them, the families would arrive in droves, and Stuart hoped to be able to expand further to the south and build a school, church, and hospital, all the things needed for a town to thrive. While he surely despised the place, he could still leave it a wealthy man. He knew if he did well here, then once again other opportunities would open up. Get himself back working jobs in the cities, building skyscrapers and office buildings and places of real industry. Not these backwater holes where no diner parties were held and music never played. Soon Stuart thought he'd shake the bottle and the bad name it had given him. As he stared up at the patchwork of soft grey clouds, he took another drag from his cigarette. The smoke swirled and rose, drifting like the clouds above, harmlessly crossing the pinpricks of light scattered in the sky. His gaze dropped, falling to the vast ocean of trees below, stretching endlessly in all directions. They towered great and grand, older than any man could imagine. He'd heard from a surveyor once that these woods had stood here for millions of years, long before people walked on this land, probably before there were people at all. Then, something caught his eye. A flicker of light, hovering just above head height. At first it seemed like nothing more than a trick of the eye, but as he focused, the glowing orb became clearer. It pulsed as bright as a bonfire, but glowing with an otherworldly blue. It was circular, floating effortlessly and utterly impossible. He found himself drawn to it, the way a moth is to a flame. What is it? The thought barely registered as he reached out, his fingers tingling with anticipation. But before he could touch it, the light darted forward, vanishing deeper into the trees. He hesitated for a moment, then followed without thinking, his feet moving faster than his mind could catch up. The ground rose up unexpectedly, and suddenly he was face first in the dirt. His cigarette slipped from his fingers, bouncing away in the dark, cursing softly. He wiped his hands hastily on his jeans and pushed himself up, only half aware of the small metal bullets spilling from his pocket as he rose to his feet. The sight of the glowing orb, now just a flicker through the trees, pulled him forward again. This time he was more careful, slower, aware of the roots that threatened to trip him. But the light beckoned.
Uh-oh. All around him hummed the sounds of light. Owls hooted, bats screeched, and a cricket played his tune somewhere in the brush. He got close to the orb before it sped off again, stopping another 10 feet away from him. Again he gave chase. Every time he got close, it would shoot off in another direction, whizzing through the trees with a grace and elegance that seemed otherworldly. Reaching out to it again, after another series of chases, it tore off once again into a small clearing in the woods, its light illuminating the opening. What is it, Eamon? What does it all mean?
A will-o'-the-wisp.
Could be. Stuart sprinted after it, his feet thudding on the soft forest floor. Finding himself within touching distance, he reached out and watched the orb once again disappear out of reach. This time, however, it did not sail off through the sky. It did not happen again at all, and Stuart found himself in the dark clearing. As he reached it, it disappeared, leaving the clearing again in darkness, with only the light of the moon. Stuart peered around at the murky darkness that surrounded him. In his childlike curiosity, he now found himself unsure of exactly what direction home was. He knew he'd not gone far, but The light had taken so many turns and twists that he couldn't be certain. He reached into the pocket of his jacket, pulled out another cigarette and lit it. Panic was slowly setting in now, just kept at bay by the amount of whiskey he drank. This fella sounds a bit like you.
Yeah, I'd be
running around in the dark, smoking fags and drinking whiskey. Panicked.
Dream. It can't even be that panic because when the whiskey has hold, keeps it at bay, man.
He took a drag and then another as he did his best to figure out what to do next. He could put a shot up in the air, but with the rain and his distance from the town, there was no guarantee anyone would hear it. Besides, how in God's name was he going to explain this, chasing after a glowing, floating light in the forest? Stuart's fondness for whiskey was known around the camp, and while none were in the position to judge him, this would be far from a good look.
Yeah.
He was taking another drag from his cigarette when a branch snapped behind him. Sloppily pulling his pistol, he pointed at the source of the noise. From the brush, a pair of dark eyes shone back at him, moonlight reflecting off them. His hand shook with the pistol as he himself took a step back, completely sober now. Slowly, the eyes moved toward him and a pair of antlers rose up out of the darkness. It was a young buck, not to be confused with the G-Unit rapper of the same name. A wave of relief washed over him as he felt a chuckle escape him. I'll never get used to this place, he thought. God, if his uncle could see him now, what would he say? He'd taken Stuart hunting as a child, an endeavour that drove both of them to near tears on a number of occasions. I used to go shooting rats in the skip with me dad.
Yeah, well, that's fun.
Yeah. All around them, the noises of life had ceased. It was deathly silent now, but for the sound of the creature's hooves on the muddy, twig-covered ground. Feeling fear slowly start to sneak back in, he raised back up his pistol before roaring his best as he cut at the animal. Hey, get back! The deer stopped dead but did not take off, nor did it look away. Now, less than half the distance away, he could clearly see the face of the animal and the scar that ran just around it. He also could see that the neck was broken and its head was hanging limply to one side.
Oh boy.
Go on, get! He roared again, taking a step toward the creature as he did so, his arms flailing wildly like one of those things outside the card places in America. No reaction came from the deer. Then it took another step toward him, and another, and another. At more speed this time, quickly closing the gap between them. Stuart, in turn, moved backward again, shouting, weaker this time. Hey, get! Hey! Still, it marched toward him. He stumbled backward, his heart was racing. And then he was in the mud. A fallen tree tripped him, and he went backward. The deer continued to march toward him, head bobbing limply as it did. Stuart aimed his pistol at it and fired. Click. It was empty.
All the bullets had spilled out when he fell because of his big whiskey head.
He reached into his pocket, clumsily searching for the bullets he had kept inside his pocket, and found nothing. He searched his other pockets. Nothing. His fear has graduated into outright terror at this stage. His heart was feeling as though it might jump out of his chest. Every instinct told him to run. No matter where, just run. But this internal scream wasn't reaching his legs or arms, both of which felt like jelly. The deer stopped right above him, staring down at him, its head hanging to one side. With an almost casual grace, it began to rise up, back onto its hind legs. As it stretched out, Stuart could see the scars and wounds that littered its chest. It towered above him. It stumbled even closer to Stuart. He began to squirm backwards over the fallen tree, dragging himself through the mud, when he bumped into something warm, with a hot, stinking breath. He looked up to see a second deer, staring down at him with empty black eyes. Another whimper escaped him. He felt warmth run down his leg. He didn't have a shiwi. Please, oh God, please, no. Barely a whisper. He looked back towards the first deer as a terrible smile began to tear the hanging head in two. Oh. A row of impossibly sharp teeth raised out from both jaws. He could smell them now. They reeked of sulphur, of rotting meat, of death. Then they lunged at him. Stuart's final scream echoed through the silent wood. Now?
Very well written.
Yeah, really enjoyed that.
Excellent.
Shouts out.
Yeah, that
very
was
good. Nice one, Sean. Top shagger.
In spite of your farting, in spite of your passing of gas.
I wasn't going on.
Good Lord. Sean, excellent work.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I really enjoyed that.
Very good. Should send that to a few little horror
places, podcasts and all the like.
Yeah, they'd like to read that out. Or
it's always a good. I don't know, Sean, like to what extent of writing you do, or whether you're published, unpublished, or it's
he's
just
obviously well able to.
Yeah, that's anyway, what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So, but if he's not published or he hasn't done anything like that, a good way to kind of a good in for you would be to actually write some stuff for the likes of podcasts that read short stories that.
Check out the Wicked Library.
Yeah,
they'll read little things. They did a few of mine, and I thought that was really good. So I'd say that'd be a good shout.
Bit of a spooky Wendigo kind of vibe there. I like the broken neck flapping
Wendigo
around.
/ reminiscent of The Thing.
Yeah,
that opening up, or the dogs from Resident Evil 4.
I like that.
Into
that was very good. Apologies for being silly at the start there, but
it is the podcast of silliness. I'm sure other podcasts that professionally read horror stories would not pass wind as they were reading out.
What else were we going to talk about? So I've been watching Black Mirror.
Oh, I've cleared it.
You cleared it, you big dirty bastard.
Went through it all.
Last one I watched was the video game one, where your man steals that video game that.
Oh, with Peter Capaldi in it.
Yeah, who's Peter Capaldi again?
The fella he used to be in. He was a Doctor Who. I think it's Peter Capaldi's name.
Was he a Doctor Who?
He was a Doctor Who, and he's also in The Thick of It. Did you ever watch that?
No.
That's class. He plays a foul-mouthed politician. It's brilliant. Well, he's like not the politician. He's kind of the press guy, the PR guy.
Okay.
So he tries to stop them all from making fools of themselves.
Right.
But it's very, very, very funny.
I really liked it. Actually, thought that was a really good episode.
Yeah.
I really liked that episode. I thought it was very good. I thought like it kind of had. Oh, look who's farting now.
No, that was your.
I seen your fucking arse cheeks fucking rise up there.
It was a mere trouser cough.
I like how it had nods to like Charlie Brooker and CEX and all that. He was going to the game exchange to get stuff and all.
Because he's such a big game head. Did he used to write for Games Master or anything?
He could have done, but he founded CEX, right?
Charlie Brooker did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise he had founded CEX. Right. I didn't know that.
That was, so that's why I liked it. It was
Computer Exchange.
Had the little nods. He was one of the, I think he's like a co-founder of CEX or something like that, which a lot of people don't know about him.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
He's, that's why I liked it. I had that 90s nod to like definitely.
That. And especially PC culture at the time as well. Yeah.
Which was quite cool. That's when PC culture meant actually personal computer culture rather than like some kind of buzzword. I really enjoyed that episode. I kind of liked. I think it's one of the lowest rated ones of the season. You know, with the black and white one where they're lesing off with each other. Yeah, the one that was going around lesing off with each other.
Really enjoyed that one. I thought that was great. I won't go into you. So you only have one episode left.
That's the sequel to the space one? Is it?
Yeah.
I don't give a fucking wank about that because I didn't really like the first one.
You probably won't.
I didn't like that one.
Care. It's like an hour and a half long as well. It's decent. It's not bad. But if you didn't like the first one, I don't think you'll like this one.
Didn't.
It's not very. It doesn't have Black Mirror vibes to the same extent.
Which is why I don't think I resonated with that first one.
So there's the first one is the people who can't afford to live.
Yeah.
Right. The second one. What was the second one again? It was the girl who. She had the quantum spoilers here, by the way. Second one's the girl who the blonde haired girl who starts working at the cake factory. They're making for Mr. Vidi or whatever his name is.
Oh.
And then it gets like very high sci-fi at the end of it.
Yeah, and then there's the one.
The third one is the black and white. Oh no,
it's not a reality changing one. Remember your one that can change reality.
That's the one I'm talking about.
That's the one. She doesn't work at the cake factory.
She does, yeah. She works like
she's a journalist or something, wasn't she?
No, she makes cakes.
Does she?
Yeah, because remember they make the cake for the boss, but it has pork gelatine or beef gelatine, and your man's like a Hindu, the owner, and they're trying to say she said she didn't tell her to putting on pork gelatin. Yes,
yeah.
She's like, so it's not a factory, but it's like
maybe I missed the start part because she's in like an office. Remember, she's going to work.
Yeah, she's in an office, but they're the people who do the science of the taste of the confectionery. I believe. Yeah.
No, I must have missed that first part. No, I really enjoyed that one. Thought it was very good.
Look, it's a good.
I thought it was actually one of the stronger seasons of Black Mirror in recent memory.
I enjoyed the horror basis of the last season as well, but I understand why a lot of people don't like it. It is one of those ones like when I watched the first episode, I watched it before going to bed, and then I just felt gack. Like that's the thing about Black Mirror, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know,
it's like watching Requiem for a Dream. Like makes you feel shit, but it's it's worth watching.
Well, that's it. It's not like,
it's just worthwhile watching. Like.
Yeah. And isn't that what they say about like good art? It's not meant to like, you shouldn't leave a movement like, oh, class. It should evoke emotion.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Really makes you think.
No, I really enjoyed it actually. I thought it was quite cool. I'd potentially like to see a sequel. I'm not mad at when they do sequels to Black Mirror episodes. So apparently that one, the video game episode, the guy that's also in The Bear and stuff as a chef, he's in all them films, you'd know him. Yeah. He's the guy, the game developer fella. The guy that they say is a bit mad in it, remember?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to place him again.
He was in another episode of Black Mirror. And this episode is kind of a sequel because he plays that same dude in a different episode from a couple of seasons ago.
Is that the one where your man goes into the... Oh, Bandersnatch is where you choose your own destiny.
Yeah, he's in that one.
Right, I haven't actually seen... I've seen all the other ones, but I haven't seen that one.
I think that's that one. But I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, he's in another one. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I thought they were fun.
Yeah, very good.
I thought that movie, man, it went on a bit long with, but it was good.
It reminded me of the one that he won was it a Grammy for? The two women who are in a lesbian relationship as well, and they have to decide whether to get uploaded to the San.
Oh, I like that one.
It's a very good episode. Is
that one with Panic in the Streets of London plays at the end of it?
I think
and they lays off in the pub or whatever.
They're in like the tropical or the
is that a dating website one?
No, this one is the one where it's like your consciousness gets uploaded to. Oh, it's not San Tropez, it's San something. I can't remember. And they have the decision. Yeah, one of them wants to die and not be uploaded, and the other one wants to be uploaded, and they have this relationship when they're old women, but as younger women, and then like as younger women in the virtual world. But it's a really nice love story, I suppose. And this one kind of reminded me a little bit of that. Not just because of the lesbian thing, but probably predominantly because of that. But I thought it was really good as well, the way your one wasn't fully conscious. Like she was, the way they were trying to do the movie, I was really confused for like the first 15, 20 minutes of it. But no, I thought it was very good.
I like that dating site one.
What was the dating site one?
I don't know if they were lesbian off. It could have been a fella and a woman. I can't remember. But it was like, wasn't it something like where they developed this dating website where like, or this dating thing where like, I can't remember the hook to it, but like, whatever the hook was, it was something to do with like they're able to find this perfect match for you or something.
Oh,
do you remember? And whatever way it was going, like this couple kept. Even though they weren't supposed to, kept getting together.
Yeah. I do remember this. I do remember this.
And then Panic in the Streets of
London. A big wall at the end of it or something.
Something like that,
yeah. I remember.
And it was good. I like that episode.
Dystopian love story.
Yeah. Which is basically real life.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought Black Mirror was quite good.
I watched the first episode of a TV show called Severance.
Oh, yeah, that sounds
has really good potential. It's like...
The
idea is there's you work in an office and you sign the severance contract, and basically what it does is your brain cuts off
I've watched
when you're in the office.
I've watched that.
I've only watched. Have you watched it all?
Mid-season 2.
Okay, so you've watched a good bit of it. No, I've just watched the first episode and I'm intrigued.
It's alright.
Because the person who's told me it was class told me it was like amazingly class. Seems to have a pretty good...
Some kind of idiot told you at the end of the day.
He's a very smart man, actually, Friend of ours.
Some kind of idiot, I probably.
Well, to be a friend of ours.
No.
But I enjoyed the first episode.
Yeah, it's overrated.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's a bit crap.
It's a shame.
I think people nowadays, their brains are just mush and they want to watch any old crap. And this is that. It's a bit... they're dangling the carrot the whole time, but the carrot is actually a rotten shite carrot that there's nothing really nice at the end of it. People keep telling you, they go, watch the next one, it's good and all, and you're like, I don't care.
I enjoyed the first episode.
You'll enjoy the first season, probably.
Yeah,
probably. But
is any of it as good as From? Is anything in the world as good as From?
No.
I
don't think you're going. I don't think you'll like Severance. I think you'll get annoyed by it.
Let me tell you what I like.
No,
it's a TV show called From.
Yeah, From's class. Walt. That's class.
My son.
Where's my son?
Where's my son, Walter?
But no.
Yeah.
Severance.
Try Severance.
People are just wanting to like something at the minute. They're like, oh, what's the next like kind of show? From is it? Severance.
It was From
wank.
all along.
It was. Go watch From instead of Severance.
How he's not watching From? I feel like if you are not watching From, I really don't know what to say to you, pimpin'.
There's a couple of bad parts of From. Like it's not all good, but like.
But even the bad parts are good.
From does have like.
It has a bit of
vibes of cheapness.
Yeah,
like.
Yeah, it does.
It does have
Listen,
cheapness.
I'm the first one to tell you about the cheapness of From. But the pacing is pretty good.
Yeah.
It is. I was about to say the characters are pretty good, and a part of my mind just went, "Don't say that," because it may not be true. Some of the characters are pretty. It's a good show. No, I like it. It's very engaging.
Why don't I like Severance? Let's talk about why I don't like Severance. I'm trying to articulate it here properly.
Is it too? It's
trying.
Clinical.
No, I like that. I like that. It's trying to be. I feel like the mystery isn't. I don't know. It's just not satisfying, or it's not. There's just something about it that I'm not into. I don't know. It's just not for me. Maybe that's maybe the best out of the both.
Could be it.
There's just something about it.
There might be some sort of, and again, I haven't watched it properly, but because sort of half of it, if you like, is The Office. I think for people who work in an office and that an office is described as a mine of the 21st century, there's probably something that's relatable on that sense. Maybe. More so, maybe. But again, I haven't watched the full thing. So.
Yeah, no, maybe.
And so many people work in offices nowadays that is,
Maybe. It's fairly dull though.
Like myself.
Christopher Walken and all's in it.
Yeah, I heard that.
He's gay in it. Bumming.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There's lots of my penis inside you now.
Lots of that. Last of Us is back, speaking of gay.
Yeah, I watched the first.
Speaking of gay. Actually, nowadays it seems like everything is gay. All the shows that we mentioned all have gay shit in them.
Representation, son.
I need to start going back and watching fucking Thunder in Paradise or something.
Is there anyone gay in From?
There's no one gay in Thunder in Paradise. Yeah, From there is. Yeah, there's lesbian couple, remember?
Not really.
Maybe your man, she starts lesing off and she gets a real lesbian haircut and starts wearing Canadian tuxedo. She starts wearing the full denim. Remember the fucking nurse?
Oh, the
Jesus
nurse.
Christ.
Yeah, I haven't. She used to be addicted.
And Fatima
she was addicted to morphine.
Off and
I know Fatima's just up for whatever. Fatima's just hanging out.
They're all lesing off.
Fatima's
and what's her name was wanting to les off? The fucking their daughter. Yeah, she was on les off.
She was only going. She was only experimenting. She didn't know what she was doing.
All going. I'm telling you.
I, for one, think we should have more representation in From everyone. Yeah, to be fair, it does have everybody. Yeah, it doesn't have any Irish though.
Not every TV show now is like there's like.
I think it's like good to have a certain amount of representation on TV. I think it's like good that 10% of all the characters are gay, or it's not allowed to be made. It's very important.
Hogwarts. Hogwarts new show is going to be just lads banging. In fucking Hogsmeade. So
as J.K. Rowling tries to sue her own product. No. Yeah, I don't know, man. The Reacher. Have you watched that yet?
That's about reaching around on lads, is it?
Stop it now.
Reacher's
a good, honest to God, strong man.
I see. I don't like that either, though. I'm not into that. Like,
strong man, no gay vibes, breaking lads up. No, it's just 1950s fucking family values, shooting gangsters.
No,
it's a good show. It's a fun show. He's a very manly man. He may be the new Batman. Alan Richardson.
Sure, what do you mean, new Batman? Sure, what's his name is Batman?
No, he's Batman in Matt Reeves' Batman. But now we have James Gunn's Batman. So we have different Batmen.
Christ.
Who's the real Batman?
Lord
Would he still stand up? Do you remember when you wished they'd make cool Batman movies? And now you're like, stop making Batman movies.
I don't like, and Spider-Man, it's like, here's another Spider-Man. You're like, just leave it, lads. Just leave it now.
Looking forward to seeing that Sinners movie, actually.
What's that?
Movie about lads that movie about gay lads. It's just called Sinners. No, it's Michael B. Jordan's new movie. I think it's like supernatural mixed with civil rights stuff.
All right.
So it's got like a very high mark on Metacritic. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I think I just don't like most things anymore, like TV wise. I think From I liked. There's a bit of mystery. I like mystery.
Yeah, mystery.
And that's why I thought I'd like Severance, because I was like, yeah, there's a bit of mystery. Like, what's going on here? But I don't know. Personally, just not for me.
You didn't like? Did you like? I was about to say Uncharted, but to be fair, Last of Us is kind of built from the Uncharted
Last of Us
framework.
Last of Us was good. Yeah,
I enjoyed. I haven't played Last of Us 2. Have you?
No.
Right. So I'm going into this blind. So I'm just taking it for what it is. I know people are complaining about Abby and that scene with Joel, and I don't know what it's like in the game.
What happens when it is off or something?
Yeah, Joel's like, I'm looking for Haley. Where's Haley? And then she's all like, are you trans? And then he just starts lesing out. He's like, well, I don't really know how I feel really. And so it's like, technically, I guess it's LGBTQIA plus.
You get none of that fucking shit now in Yellowstone, let me tell you. Fucking what's his name coming along and shoot you?
Do they not have like a gay son or anything? I doubt it. He's trying to just navigate his life. Like
that show is a bit like a kind of a
it's a bit too
like
Republican
dog whistle show. It's a little bit like it is a little bit. But I'm sure I like it though.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got a good story. But again, like you can have. I don't think there's any problem.
Get them Native Americans off my land. Them bitches. That's what he does in it, basically. He goes around chasing indigenous lads.
Yeah, I think it's important. No, but like in all seriousness, I do think it's important to have some representation in movies and shows. You need to have all the types of people that are there. Unless like your show is about, white lads. Like Reservation Dogs, they're obviously all Native American.
Yeah, do you think do you remember in the 90s how like every female video game character had big ditties and big arsenal because the people developing the games look like fucking cretins.
I'll put it
do you think what's happening with TV now?
It's getting too far
because the people that are writing it are skewed heavily that way. Like so, like back in the 90s with video games, it was like every female, it still kind of is, has big ditties, big arse, sexy and all.
Yeah. And to be fair, most of the male characters in video games are...
And now a lot of the TV show stuff, like the think tanks that make them, are very kind of like...
back in. Yeah.
Look like the cast of the fucking Suicide Squad or something.
Yeah.
Sorry, the YouTube algorithm squad.
Sorry. I do, I see what you're saying. I think that the fear...
Because like I don't relate, like a lot of it, I'm just like...
I think the main thing is like, sometimes the feeling I get from watching some of these shows when they're reworking them, especially reworks and remakes and all that... is they prioritized current values over good storytelling.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you do with the characters as long as it makes sense. Like, don't just fucking put Batman in a wheelchair and be it's a new Batman. If you don't like that, you're fucking a bigot. I think it's like, just make it make sense. I think it's like, look, like I said, have representation. You need to have representation. I don't give a fuck if you sort of racially swap characters. Unless when you do that, you're not letting the story shine through. And the fear is like if they just say, like Batman's a girl now, you get the sensation that story isn't going to be the main focus. No. Whereas a story about a girl Batman could be really cool. But if your priority is to make... Yeah, exactly. But if your priority is to do that, then you're not focused on the story, and everything should be coming from how the quality of the storytelling.
What about if they announce and they say, right, and we're making a new Lord of the Rings and Gandalf is Jamaican? What would you think?
I'd actually love that. Because I'm not a dieharder on Lord of the Rings, so I would go to see that. Like, I love Batman, so if they told me Batman was Jamaican, actually just Jamaican... I think you might get away with making every character Jamaican now that I think
Excuse me while I light my spliff.
Commissioner Gordon, you're back again, man. Lift. Who's been putting me signal up in the sky?
Yeah, that would be good crack.
I think just every main character has to be Jamaican from now on.
Yeah. Watch Severance. I'm curious to hear your opinion on it.
I will. I'll get around to watching it.
I don't know. Sure. I don't know what it is. I wanted to like.
Isn't this the beauty of the world, that we can all have different opinions?
That's why I'm curious. I wanted to like it. As a matter of fact, I reckon most of our listeners are going, fuck you, Rob, you bollocks, like Severance is class.
I
wanted to like it.
I didn't feel like I have to watch all of this, but I did like it. But then again, like, I like fucking stuff I like that I don't know why. Like, Bloodhounds was a Korean drama.
Yeah, Korean shit is class though.
So Bloodhounds was class.
I can vouch for that.
Sometimes nothing was happening for hours at a time.
If it's Korean, chances are it's class.
That's true. I really want to see that movie Revelations,
that.
which is by the guy who. Did you ever see Train to Busan?
No.
You need to watch.
They just hired like the fellow we were talking about on the Patreon episode. They hired that sexy Korean dude, and he's in everything.
Yeah.
He's in it like every Korean show. He's on.
He's a handsome Korean guy. Why not?
There you go. Get that fella on. And he's there. Like,
where's the handsome Korean guy? We need more gays. We need more Korean gays. Get him in on it.
Yeah. Parasite, fantastic.
I actually haven't seen Parasite.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Parasite is like amazing. You should watch
I'd say it's one of those ones again where you don't feel like you've watched a good film after. Well, you do feel like you watched a good film, but you don't feel good, I would imagine.
I know, like it's I think it gets pretty kooky. Like I'd say you'd probably really like. I think you'd really like it. It's a great film, Parasite.
That's right.
Really good. Won an Oscar, man.
Sure.
We'll leave it there.
Bye.
Next episode of Monster Fuzz is going to have Eamon the trans Eamon.
Gender swapped Rob and Eamon.
I'm lesbian Rob.
You're lesbian Rob and I'm trans Eamon. Yeah, makes sense. Finally, some representation. Hear me now. Welcome to the Monster Fuzz, the Monster Fuzz podcast.
Yeah. Look, anyway, we've been here too long. It's an hour of trash.
We have to go.
I've been Rob.
Amen.
Let's get out of here.
Bye.